It took a while, but now I finally have a new video ready for you, the whole script and so on. And the problem is that it's freaking windy and I need to find an area where I can record it properly. Wife is having a meeting at our apartment, so I can't record there. We've left off with me showcasing the initial design for the property and stating that now all we need to do is just find a contractor for it, right? And that was 5 months ago. And during this time, we went through multiple contractors who are based in Kyoto region. And let me just break it all down for you. The thing is, Ryoan-Ji house has this Machiya status, which brings it to the zone of heritage, which limits the type of a contractor who would be willing to work on it. And in addition to that, our designs require partial demolition, and also they have some non-standard solutions that the local builders are a little bit scared of messing up. And even bigger limitation was the fact that we are foreigners who mostly live in Europe and want to take care of the whole design ourselves without a local architect. And realistically, all of these barriers, they make it impossible to do a reconstruction remotely. The first thing that we've done is ask the same person who actually helped us purchase the house to continue working as an intermediary between us and the contractors. Steven, who has a company called Ryoan that specializes in this kind of stuff, has agreed to it and thus has become the first person on our Ryoan-Ji team. I'll leave a link to his company's website in the video description below. And honestly, considering that suddenly the language is not an issue, arranging the meetings has become a non-issue and there is someone to actually ask for information, this would have been a crucial step even if we were actually based in Japan. And thus, the search began. At first, we were reaching out to contractors who specialize in only Machiya renovation, but very quickly we saw that it's not going to work out, as we either didn't get an answer or the answer was basically no, because we need a local architect. And that was our first month spent. Immediately we pivoted our search for a local architect to find a local architect instead, who would be willing to take the design and take care of the more technical aspects such as filing paperwork, dealing with contractors and so on. And we did, quite quickly actually. And I want to note one thing before we continue. When we bought the house, it also had an estimate quote for a pretty wide renovation, which was prepared to another potential client attached to it. That quote stated 25 million yen for all work, materials and appliances. That's like $175,000. After visiting the house and an online call with us and Steven, the architect and their contractor team have quoted us 45 million yen for all phases. That's $315,000. Got us a little bit scared there. Of course, since there's no way that we could afford to pay that much, we had to start the search from scratch again. So that was 2 more months spent. And now in March, we were close to the subsidies for Machiya renovation from the Kyoto city opening up. And I'll talk more about them in the future videos. But for now, just know that there's some money from the government, right, that helps us. And that, those kind of deadlines coming in, that made us push the search even harder. Thankfully, quite quickly, Steven introduced us to another architect based in Kyoto, Muranishi-san. He visited the house, inspected it, and had a call with us to clarify a few design decisions, as well as questions regarding payment. Architects in Japan typically run 2 types of monetization. If the company is primarily a contractor company that has in-house architects, the design service is free, and they simply get paid in the design and the paperwork through commission from material and appliance sellers. Also, it seems that the quotes are also slightly inflated to facilitate for it. And then if the company is an architecture design company that collaborates with different contractor companies during the building phase, well, then it's a percentage-based fee. For smaller developments, it's typically 12 to 15% of the whole building price. Muranishi-san has a design company. Thus, we've agreed on a 10% rate. Since we're doing the design and detailing part. And within a month, we had 3 quotes on our table, from which we chose one with whom we will be continue working. And before I talk money, I have to note these quotes were for phase 1 of reconstruction, while previous quotes of $175,000 as well as $315,000 were for all phases. And if you're interested in how we're phasing this, please watch the previous video because I talk much more in detail about it there. To put it very simply, phase 1 is partial demolition, structural reconstruction, earthquake reinforcement, heat insulation, roof reconstruction, electricity, plumbing, and windows. And phase 2 is making everything pretty. These 3 quotes were 13.5 million yen, 19.5 million yen, and 14.8 million yen. We chose Kamiyama Komutan, the guys who quoted 14.8 million yen, which is around $100,000. The main 3 reasons for that were well, first of all, Muranishi-san suggested them, right? And we trust the local architect to suggest a pretty good team. Second one is their quote was reasonable and only needed double glazed windows as well as a more involved roof reconstruction to be added. And third one is their portfolio really inspired confidence. It looked really, really nice. And if you like numbers, I will do an in-depth, less entertainment-oriented video about it for the Patreon subscribers, and it should come out in like a week or so. And now we're here. The flight to Japan is in 3 days. After ironing out the quote, the final price is 17 million yen for the contractors for the work and 1.7 million yen for the architect. And in a bit more than a week, we're having our first team meeting inside of the Ryoan-Ji house to discuss some final design questions. And from there on out, phase 1 begins. The team has been assembled. Now things will start moving much, much faster. I'll see you in the next one. Later. Next month's video is already out on Patreon. If you support the channel, you can see it now. And also ask me questions here.